Hey guys, this is Mayuri.
And this is Bruce. Welcome to Get Money or Get Out. And what are we talking about today?
Okay, so we received a question from one of our subs saying if you're a renter but you want to get into property ownership in the US, what would you do, Bruce?
Well, first of all, I know there's some people that we know who are experts at this kind of thing. They own tons of properties. We kind of just got into it. So I want to know in comments below if you happen to be a long time property owner and you rent out tons of property all over the place. What would you do if you are starting off from scratch, knowing what you know now, a renter trying to own a home? What would you do? We're going to tell you what we would do, but we're kind of rookies at this, to be honest with you. What would we do? So what we would do is we would find a home where we could get in there, fix it up. We would get a loan from the bank, purchase that fixer-upper, live in it while we're fixing it up. And then once we have fixed it up and we've increased the property value, we would then move out of it into like another rental, and then we would rent that one out. That's one of the options that comes to mind when I'm thinking about everything I know now. That's what I would do. So how about you? Like, do you have anything to add to that?
A couple we know, Shella and Dana, that's also what Dana did too before he got a lot of properties.
That's right. That is what he did.
That was the first move that he did when he was in his 20s, and when he was young. He bought a house and lived in there for a while, for a few years, rented it out, and then from there he bought another house as his residence, and then from there he kept building into buying more property, because once you get a rental, and also he kept his job during that time, so he had money coming in from his first rental, and he kept saving and then continued to buy more properties.
Right. So that's what I would do. I mean, again, you're renting, you're going to have some cash on hand. Like, you're going to have to save some cash because there's going to be some expenses from if you're buying the home. There's going to be expenses tax. Even if you get a loan, you still have to come to the table with some capital to get in the house. So there's that one. And then when you're fixing up the house, you're going to have some money because you can't do everything yourself. Or maybe you can. That's great. That's a plus. But you're still going to need tools and paint and things like that to fix the house. But if you can't do any of that, you have to pay someone else to help you fix the house. So there's going to be an out-of-pocket expense that it won't be easy. You may have to stay in the house for 5 years, So that's what I would do. Like, I would save up enough money to fix my credit enough to be able to get into a home, a fixer-upper. If you get into a house that is too expensive, you won't be able to flip it. You won't be able to get out of the rent for it, because what you want to do when you move out of that house to rent it to someone else is you're still going to be paying the mortgage, but you want to be able to rent it out to someone for more so that they're paying for your mortgage at the very least, and they're paying you a little bit of profit. So let's say your home, you move into this house and you're paying $1,200 a month, right? So you want to, first of all, improve the house so somebody will want to live in it after you're done with it. If you can, try some way to bring that mortgage down to, like, if you're paying the $1,200, you want to pay like $1,000 or $1,100, and you can do that by refinancing or something like that. All those things might take you years to do, But let's say you're paying $1,200, you move out, it's nice, the lawn is good, the interior is good, everything's good, safe, everything. You move out, now you're renting. So now you have a mortgage that's $1,200 and you have a rent that's $800 a month. So now you're $2,000 a month, right? So that means you have to have an income coming in to pay for these two things. Now you get a renter in, and that renter has to pay at least $1,200 on that home.
Yeah.
So, what would be best if they're paying $1,300 to $1,400, so they're paying not only the interest and the principal, but they're also giving you a little bit of you have a little bit of profit of like $200 or something, or even $100, and then that $100 is helping you pay for your rent at your other place. That's what I would do. So,
yeah, I mean, that's what we did.
In a nutshell, that's kind of what we
2
did.
years ago. I mean, we were at that house for a long time, and we were not. There's like certain things that you shouldn't be doing into a home that you're gonna rent out, which is the grass, because it costs a lot of money
What do you
to
mean,
maintain it.
Don't do the grass.
Like you said, lawn.
Zero-scape it.
Zero-scape it, or just do mowing, regular
Ultimately,
mowing.
you just want to keep the expenses as low as possible.
Mhm.
However you do that, if that's zero-scaping it, you know how to do that, or if you know how to fix things, if you're a plumber, you don't need a plumber, do that all yourself. If you are great at painting, do that all yourself. Whatever you can do, if you can't afford to actually come out of your pocket and pay somebody to do all these things, or of course, if you got cash flow from other places, you can afford to pay somebody to do the lawn, pay somebody to paint, all that stuff is not a problem for you.
Unless you're like a person who knows how to do it themselves, the aeration of your grass, the fertilizer, because when you hire other people, it adds up to the expense.
More expenses, yeah.
And
the name of the game is to get the expenses down, so that when somebody moves in the house, those are things you don't have to really worry about. So
it's really the plumbing, the bathrooms, kitchen, the cabinetry, making sure that they don't have molds, or that they are in a okay condition when you leave it.
Exactly.
That was about it,
I
right?
think that's about it. Yeah, that's what I would do. Good luck out there, guys. If we can do it, you can do it. So that's
about it for this video. Thumbs up and subscribe on our YouTube channel.